You are welcome.
Welcome, bitches!
Welcome.
I'm kind of bummed out we didn't match though, bro. For real though. Like, we coming in here, we starting this shit fresh. We coming in hot!
You're mad that we didn't match?
We don't match. We usually got like matching beanies and shit. Which is not intentional, mind you.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Every time we every time we edit this shit, we're like, God damn it.
I think we're just like out of touch with each other, bro. We fucking like, we've had like so many trips together, bro. We're like fucking telepathically synced up, bro. I think so. We're like girls who live with each other and all of a sudden their periods start syncing up.
Yeah, our beanie like game syncs up.
Hell yeah, dog. Should we get into this trip report?
Anyway, right. So we're gonna start off by saying,
yeah,
this is a video from one of ours past. This is a video from my past. This is nowhere. Don't get shit twisted. This ain't racing.
No. So a lot of times, I mean, I know, speaking personally, I got some trips that I want to do a video on from like high school days. So we got trip reports just down in the pocket. We just ready to pull out on y'all at any time. So that's where this be coming from.
Right. Exactly. So
yeah, it's been a while. We doing a little trip report, a little LSD report. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me get on my interviewer hat.
So, how much did you do?
Nah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Bro. I am due for a trip though. That's for sure.
You really do.
I'm very overdue for a trip.
I'm gonna go.
I think New Year's I'm gonna come in. Boom. Bowling and trying to shop. What? I'm
gonna go ahead and drop a little fucking Easter egg or what, I don't know, plant a little seed, but
plant a fucking seed, bro.
Even if you don't trip for a little while, you have your first trip report, your very first time ever do it. 5 hits alone. Video coming soon.
Yeah, I was gonna say I almost started writing notes on it the other night, but I didn't because I'm a fucking
14 years old, first time, all by yourself, 5 hits of LSD. That's coming, so stay tuned. But for now, we on this one.
Yeah, that's an interesting one to do too because it was what I would call a bad trip, and I talked about it for years as a bad trip. But now, if you've been watching this channel, you've heard me speak positively about LSD, so you can kind of see how this went flippy floppy.
So you almost will have like 2 different mindsets on it. You have like your old outlook on it, and then also the way you look at it now.
I remember saying when I was a kid, I was talking to my sister, I was like, yeah, I'll smoke like weed and stuff, but like I'll never do hard drugs like crack or heroin or acid. Just listen to the name, acid. Why would you want to do something called acid?
Right.
I remember saying that to her.
I remember you and I had conversations like that. Like,
it's a scary name.
Like back when we were in middle school, I think Matt, there's fucking millions of Matts. So I won't say last name, but our boy Matt was like, dude, I want to try it. And we were kids, and you and I were just like, the name alone.
Yeah.
You're dumb, bro.
But it sucks because it does not deserve to be put in the same sentence as meth or heroin or crack. Like,
oh, dude, it's nothing similar.
LSD.
There's nothing about it that's similar.
No. It's pretty fucking magical. So yeah, let's go down this rabbit hole. How much did you take? How many hits was it? Was it gel tabs? Was it blotter? What color were they? How many did you take?
Damn, bro.
My bad.
It's like a fucking Run DMC interview rhyme.
I know. It was hella fucking white 80s rap style.
Vanilla Ice. It was blotter.
Blotter? Blotter paper?
White blotter. And I don't know exactly like the what is it, the micrograms?
I don't know.
I don't know if they call it UG or like whatever, but yeah, I don't know if it was like, I don't know, let's say
how many blotter tabs was it?
It was 2, but they were really big, and they were also like big not because they were usually designer drugs are the bigger ones, but it was just alleged hookup, so they're a little bit
hookup.
So I don't know exactly what it was, but it was 2 of the big ones, and I don't know exactly the fucking micrograms. It was probably like 150 or so each.
We got it. Two chunky blotter papers.
Yeah, and it was I don't know. It was probably like
what time in the day?
12:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
So I was just kind of chilling, and lately, what I like to do is I like to take it, and then while it's like dissolving on my tongue, I like to go for a walk.
Right.
So I'll go walk around the park, go in the creek, get some, just almost get, just look how pretty nature is, get that nice, just relaxing vibe, walk off some of the anxiety about what's going to happen.
That kick in can be intense.
Because you're just sitting there sucking on like, fuck. And then you're waiting for it to kick in. So like, I kind of like to do shit. So like, I go out while it's dissolving, and then when it's done, I start making my way back, so that way I can be comfortable while it's kicking in.
Okay.
But then so I went walking. And for some reason, I don't know what it was about this one, though, but this blotter took fucking forever to dissolve. This was the first time I've ever was stuck on some blotter. And it actually kicked in while I was still sucking on it.
What?
Yeah, I started feeling weird. So I came back home. I'm like, what the fuck? It was still going on. I walked for about 35, 40 minutes.
And you still had it?
And it still had it. Got in the shower. Took like a half-hour shower.
What the fuck, dude?
And for like 20 minutes of the shower, it was still going.
Maybe it wasn't normal blotter paper.
I don't know, or if it was just like dried out because it's just been like storage for a while or what. I don't know.
Okay.
But it was just fucking, I was just like, oh, this is going to be weird.
Yeah.
Like I've had that happen once with mushrooms where I was eating mushrooms and I started kicking in. They started kicking in while I was eating them.
I wonder what that is. Like if it has to do with like your what you've been what you've been eating lately or your metabolism or
I don't know.
I don't know.
It was weird. But I remember once I finished showering, I was like, oh, this is dope. Started feeling really good. Started just feeling really happy. And like lately been making some personal changes, so things have been going, so I'm in a good like headspace. So it was just really positive.
Nice.
And I went to it started off positive, and I remember like walking around. I was just like, I put on Shpongle's Codex 6 album.
Shpongle!
Hard as
I'm so glad because I was starting to get mad at you for not being able to talk to you about it.
Well, dude, man, from the last, because we've done a few trip reports and tripped a few times in the past, and like it just highlighted a lot of things fucking with me, and I didn't really realize how I couldn't focus on anything until I took care of what was taking away my focus. So
right.
I remember like, dude, check out like I couldn't enjoy shit because all I was thinking was like, fuck, I gotta fix this problem. Fuck. I gotta fix it. And I don't know, maybe everyone has this or not, but I've noticed I have a very obsessive mindset where like once I think about something or get excited about something or think of something being a problem, I can't stop thinking about it until it's done. And it's just like, I'll just be laying there watching a movie like, you're a piece of shit, take care of that, you're a piece of shit, take care of that, why are you doing? And so
I feel like that didn't start for me till I started taking psychedelics in like 2014. Yeah, all of a sudden like I couldn't just sit and play a video game for hours anymore because it's like I could be doing this, I could be getting better at that, or
you're not in denial of it anymore. Like when you're young, like when you don't know, it's almost like that Bible term where they say like a sin isn't a sin unless you know it's a sin, something like that. And I think it's kind of like that where like if you don't know you're wasting your time or you don't know that you're not enjoying yourself, it's like whatever. But once you realize like, oh, this is a problem or this isn't going to benefit what I really want, it's hard to go back.
Right. You've already kind of admitted that to yourself in your mind at some point, so it's sitting there.
And then you just feel like you're lying to yourself, and then now at this point you just feel like an idiot because you know what the problem is and you're allowing it. Because before it was like, fuck, I have no idea why I'm pissed off, or I don't know why I'm stressed out, and and so it was kind of like that, and thinking about shit like that and doing shit like that, and so I was just able to really think about positive shit. But which is weird is now once you eliminate, at least from what I'm noticing, I don't speak for everybody, but once I eliminated that problem, a new like all these new things start popping up, new thoughts. So now I'm laying there thinking about shit, and I was just thinking about like what my problem is with a lot of shit, and at one point I started thinking about just how fast society's going.
Yes.
And how like based on how fast society's going, you got to keep up in order to like survive. And I don't mean like dying, but I just mean like to make a living. If you depending on what living you want to make, I mean if you're trying to do the typical corporate type shit or getting a 9-to-5 type
you
job,
definitely have to keep up.
You have to keep up, and even if you're doing art or whatever, you got to keep up with. Like, you got to make painting, or like Android Jones said, where he's like, "Why do people want to look at my paintings when they can do VR?" Even though I don't think that his paintings are dope, but even artists think about the future.
Yeah,
and so you got to keep up with the times. And I realize how like my mind's trying to keep up with shit that I don't really fully understand. Like I'm trying to figure out like the way the government works and the way fucking like health insurance works and the way fucking mortgages work and the way fucking credit works, and there's just all this shit's going. Then you're like trying to figure out how jobs work.
It's funny how like none of that was taught in school.
No, it's just they just teach you how. Dude, school is
teach you how to work.
Exactly. How to show up every day to a place you don't want to. How to sit for 8 hours a day with little tiny breaks in between, which are coincidentally 15 minutes between each class or whatever it is. So you have like 15-minute breaks. Then you have your lunch. And then you fucking have homework, which is like practice for overtime. And then by the time you're done with school, you're like a badass at fucking doing shit you don't want to do. And that came up on my that trip too, where I was like, I was looking at, I'm going to be all over the place, sorry guys, but it's hard to like take this back.
But yeah, with trip reports, that happens sometimes.
Especially like I said, it's...
Because like you start remembering different parts in different orders, and you're like, oh yeah, and then this happened.
Right, and... What was I talking about? Oh,
how so many different... okay.
I was thinking like, man, if you just, not just saying you or just, I was just talking to myself like that. I was like, if you just start treating your hobbies or what you want to pursue, like even if it's not a hobby now, like school. Because I'm like, dude, I don't... Like, look how many people hate their jobs but still go. And I think that has a lot to do with school. You're like a black belt at being able to push through. Where if you look at, like, pursuing whether it's losing weight or getting in shape or starting a business or whatever you want to do, like school, where you don't want to do it but you keep forcing yourself because you have to, eventually you'll be an expert at doing that, I think. And so it's like reprogram. We're organic computers that, like robots, dude. Our brains want to be programmed.
Right, we adapt to whatever, and I think that's a lot of it too, is you show up to school and so you can get through it, and you show up to your job. Like most people's jobs aren't that hard, so you just have to show up every day and you'll keep your job and make money. But I think it's the same for what you were saying, like pursuing your passion or starting a business or something. I think a lot of times people fail at those things because they don't even show up to losing weight or anything. Like you just got to show up to the gym as much as you're committed to showing up at your job, which most people aren't.
Yeah, I wonder, I guess because you have to pay your bills.
Yeah.
So maybe you just got to look at like what you want will make you feel better and just start looking at like you have to feel better. I guess it takes time. Like I remember a trip like back in the beginning of like you said 2014, where I'd always be like, I'd be tripping and be like, man, when am I gonna have like the movie moment where it's like I trip and everything's better? And I'm like, and the more I kept tripping, it doesn't work like that. What it does is it gives you the pathway to, in my opinion, to think. It gives you the pathway to think this way, and it's your job to continue to try to think that way, because your brain's been thinking this way for fucking 27 years or whatever your age is. Now you have this new way, but this way it still wants... It's hard.
It's still like the path of least resistance.
Yeah, so you gotta kind of like pull this back. And that came up on the trip too, where I'm noticing myself that sometimes I'm not confident in the path I'm taking, even though I know it's the path I should be taking. And I'm not confident in a lot of this shit. Like, I'm gonna keep doing it because I need to believe in it. But I'm not 100% confident where I'm just like, fuck, yeah. So that's part of why I'm a little nervous lately. Because you're taking chances with things. And it's weird how you can have all these feelings and you're not really conscious of why you're having them, but you react like, I don't know why I want to say instinctually to them. Like these emotions, just you react to them and you just start living your life. You're like, what the fuck is going on? And then you bloop. Bloop, and you're like, oh, dude, okay, I'm pushing. And that was when I was talking about things going too fast. I realized I was just pushing I'm like, I just need to slow the fuck down and grasp things, because just going too fast all the time, you're just get it. It's like, wait, what the fuck am I trying to get, bro? What am I trying to get, bro? The fuck is this life about?
That's why some people refer to taking psychedelics as hitting the reset button. Is because, it's like, hold on, hit the reset button on all the bullshit that's developed, like all the habits I've developed, the patterns I've fucking developed. Just hit the reset and see life for what it is for a minute.
And it's scary.
It's fucking crazy.
Well, it's scary. I find myself, especially the more I try that stuff, the more I find like I want to go to security because it's safer. So like my mind will be like, no, let's just get really good at a job and just do that forever. But I have to like but then when like you trip and then you realize you don't want to do that forever, it's like I'm going back and forth of like, taken the chance of wanting to do something. Because like Joe Rogan used to say this all the time, and I'm gonna say this a million times on this channel, but as I get older, he makes more sense. Where he'd always be like, and we talked about this off the podcast, where he was saying like, oh, I don't play video games because like my time, I don't want to draw any time from other things. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You just sit there. But I'm realizing the more and more like your energy is like a gas tank, and if you're putting a lot of fuel into this thing that you don't really like to do, you're only going to have this amount of fuel for this thing. And even though you might have to do this thing, it's like figuring out how to do this thing while being, I want to be a hybrid at work. I want to fucking go 50 miles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to use 1 gallon for 50 miles opposed to being like a diesel, like blowing my whole tank at this thing. And then you come home and like, all right, now I'm going to try to, maybe you want to draw. And you're like...
That's most people, though. And that's something Rogan's talked about on his podcast, is most people are just so caught up working and trying to put food on the table and pay their bills that they don't have time to pursue a business or a passion or a hobby. It's just... Or even get healthy or anything. It's just like, I just got time to... I can barely keep a roof over my head. It's hot out here.
It's learning. It's like driving, learning when to step on the gas and learn when to ease up. And if it's like you're at a job where it's like you know what you're doing, you're secure, you know you ain't getting fired, but you don't want to be there forever. Maybe now it's like, all right, this is a good stepping stone to start funding my whatever it is that I want, or start. Like I always used to hear the term, you gotta find yourself. And like nowadays, I don't know. For me, it's too expensive to go travel. People used to say travel and find yourself, so I just go in the dark and take psychedelics.
You're traveling
in the past, so I go travel in the past. So I don't know. So this is kind of all over the place, but that's also kind of like. But you're getting where I'm at with it. I don't have it all fucking well written out either. I'm kind of like shit, bro.
Just things you got out of it, things that happen, realizations.
Yeah. And it's practice. It's learning how to like rewire your, figuring out what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then figuring out how to reprogram yourself. And like you were saying, make your crazy work for you.
Yeah.
So like, instead of being like, fuck, I go to this job I hate. Just try to change the way you look at it and be like, man, I'm able to go to this job I fucking hate. So just imagine what I could do if I fucking love the fucking thing.
Yeah.
You know? But it just takes time to train your brain because it's just... My jiu-jitsu instructor said... My jiu-jitsu instructor. I'm trying so hard not to get hyped. That's coffee, dude. I'm like hugging myself. I'm shaking. My jiu-jitsu instructor said something where he was saying, I'm like, so how, like, do you feel more calm, like, owning your own business? And he's like, he had a smile. He's like, no, man. He's like, you never know what's going to happen. You always got to be on your toes. You always got to adapt. And it, like, freaked me out. It's like a bad trip. It freaked me out, but it also was good because it's like, wait, so that feeling is never going to go away. No. So don't chase something you don't want, because even when you're chasing your dream, that's going to happen because you don't want it. You're always wanting it to grow, especially if that's your living. So it's just especially if you're worried about the future. You know, like if you think ahead and you're worried about shit, then it's like that you're always going to be worried about shit. So don't be, because then you're going to be at a job you don't like, but you're going to be worried about getting your department laid off, or if your company's going to go out of business. So at least if you can, and you have something you really want to pursue, be worried about that instead, in my opinion. Or
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more.
You don't got to listen to me. I'm just sitting in front of trippy ass shit with my cold brew.
Stop with that cold brew.
I learned it from Shab.
Gotta cross the legs like that too.
Gotta cross the legs.
Yep.
Fucking what else? What else? Trippy visuals.
That Shpongle CD though.
Dude, yes. Codex 6. Like, you gotta promote some artists.
I love that first track on there. And then there's a few tracks I really like.
Empty Brains.
Yeah.
That shit.
Yeah.
I was in
my God.
That's where it started. After I showered, I sat in the backyard, watched the sunset.
Okay.
Around in a rose garden.
Hell yeah.
In a patio chair while listening to that song. And it was like...
I know what part you're talking about.
And I'm just sitting there with the fucking joint. I'm just sitting there. And fucking, I'm just like, I'm laughing, because no one's home, so I'm just laughing, but then I don't even care if neighbors see me, because I have headphones on and a hood, so they can't even see that I'm listening to anything. And I'm just sitting there, my legs crossed, my pubes.
Just laughing.
And I'm just like, laughing, going, what the fuck is, dude, clearly, I had to listen to it again sober, but all his albums are different styles.
Yeah.
But his producing and his cleanest yet. His transitions, the sound, all his albums are magic, but the way his the engineering, right,
the crispness of everything.
Yeah, he took some time.
I noticed, because I listen to a lot of different kind of electronic music.
You are the shit.
Shpongle.
God damn. He needs more love. He needs to be like put. Remember what we said on that trip? He needs to be put like in a tower somewhere and just keep feeding him psychedelics and technology. Just give him anything he needs. Whatever he needs. He needs a cheese grater and a stick for a new sound. Give it to him.
Dude, some of the sounds, I don't know how he gets, but
he's sitting there in the dark just by himself, dude. I'm wondering, I hope.
Like, I hope there's no other producers involved.
He's got some like shaman from Peru that's just like...
Dude, I love the Spanish guitar he's been incorporating. Yes. He does it on a lot of albums, but I think it's like the last track of this album, and there's just a bunch of Spanish guitar in it, and I'm just like, if you can't appreciate that, lose my number.
Dude.
Shit's too good.
He's very good at... I'm trying to broaden my vocabulary here, guys.
Yeah.
So he's very good. So let me know if I'm incorrect with this word.
Out, bro.
But he's very good at incorporating
different genres,
different cultures, and real instruments into his music. Where I could be totally wrong, but I would not be surprised because he's at such a high level that music is really going towards like computers and shit now.
Yeah.
But I hear people starting to like the more like jazzy, real instrument type shit again.
Exactly.
So if the psychedelic community looks up to, I think his stage name's Hallucinogen, but Shpongle.
Yeah.
As like Mecca or whatever, and people want to be like that. If he starts making real instruments look really good, which he has been again, like showing how beautiful it is, maybe what if that brings real instruments back to
I can see it.
Because there's something like, I love technology, but there's a different feeling when you're hearing a real guitar, or like even he had a real bass guitar in there. Like
that's my god! I know what you're talking.
So beautiful. Check Codex 6.
Well, that's the thing, is that he's super. He's very good at producing electronic music, but he has real instruments in it and then incorporates it all. So it's like electronic drums, but with a real violinist or a real acoustic guitar player, real vocals. So it just, once it all comes together, it's beautiful. But he definitely is influencing real instruments, because I just seen Suhan make a post too saying his next album is going to be his first album with all live instruments. And he's basically like saying like, looking for vocalists and these different styles. I haven't heard of like any of them, so he's really trying to. His next album, he wants to do all fucking real instruments, which makes me nervous. But I'm also like, Suhan's so good.
Oh, Suhan wants to do that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
right.
Trippy.
That's what I'm saying.
But dude, with some didgeridoo and some trombones and shit. Oh, dude, I go hard.
Dude, when I'm starting to look at a lot of electronic music as, at least like Shpongle and Suhan, is I'm looking at it back like in the classical like Beethoven, Mozart days, where like they can write and perform all these instruments, but then they have everybody do it together so that they're just the conductor, and then they record it or whatever.
That's kind of what producers are nowadays.
Exactly. They have access to everything instead of like a metal band or some shit. Like, I got bass, you got drums. It's like, no, I got all this shit, and then I'll just put it all together.
Well, it's weird how some people's brains work like that. Because I've talked to like drummers and guitar players who were like, I couldn't do that. They're very honest. They're like, my brain. He's like, my brain only singles out things. Like I can hear the rhythm of a drum, or I can figure out the way a guitar goes, or whatever. Where like he's like, I couldn't do it all together. He's like, if I hear a guitar, I can figure out a beat to go with, like just for him personally. But then there's some people that are like, oh, dude, no, I want that keyboard there, and then I want a trumpet there, and then we're gonna have like a little violin here, and then maybe like a little mild background vocal right there. And it's like, it's cool. I feel like that with artists that draw too. I'm like, I want to know this, like Shpongle and drawers. Like, do you have a vision of it, or do you just start hitting like putting random sounds, or is that how your brain works, bro?
I think it'd probably be different for each artist.
But for like Shpongle, I wonder, does he just walk around and he's just like beep blah 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 to himself all day, just blah 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 blah. Like, and if he does, imagine if he had like a real office job. He's just like in his cubicle. You walk by, hallucinogen. Did you fax over those papers? What?
Dude, that one part you're talking about with the bass, though, it reminded me of metal bass, like some old school Metallica or something.
It was so
I was like, oh shit,
dude, check out, dude. No. His albums, I mean, if I really like someone, even singles, like if I really like someone's music, I'll pay for it. Just because, like if it's
For sure.
Like, I don't care about a lot of radio shit. It's just like, whatever, dude. Like, that's a cool beat, but I could tell it probably took a half hour for someone that knows the technology to make. And then you just say, like, you pop pills, stack money, and then you just fucking tweak it into a way it sounds cool. Which is whatever. If that's your thing, that's your thing. I ain't hating on it. It's just that's not my thing.
Right.
So, but... I forgot where I was going with it.
Basically, that some people just be doing that, but you could tell, I think you were going to say, you could tell with something like that they had to put a lot more... I don't know. I think I'm speaking for you now.
No, I don't know. I don't give a fuck. Speak for me. Do it.
Fuck it.
I don't know. This is kind of like a triple port / like album review.
Yeah. What else we gonna add to this trip report? Anything?
No, for me personally, it feels like it breaks cycles or helps you figure out how to break cycles. Like, I catch myself in this circle of where if I don't take care of what needs to be taken care of, meaning whatever it is that's making me feel unhappy, I don't react. I don't like act out with, or I don't act with love and like in friendliness with. I'm not as friendly, which I know I'm not being on my top game when I'm interacting with people, and then that makes me feel worse. And it's just this snowball effect of just like, and it gets worse and worse. And you're like, God damn, I'm being worse. Fuck, And
that's interesting.
And for me, when I'm like, fuck, I can see if I just changed this, that would make me happy, which would make me feel better here, which would not make me anxious about feeling like a dick.
I've had similar revelations from taking LSD and mushrooms where they constantly tell me to always come from a place of love.
Right.
But it sounds super hippie, but it's like, you should always.
You should. Try.
And like you said, they make you break cycles and recognize patterns.
Right.
Those are two major ones that I always take away.
Right. So if you tripped out there and all of a sudden you don't like shit you used to do and you don't know why, it's probably because somehow you identify that that's not a good pattern and maybe you're not even conscious of it yet.
Call yourself out, son.
Be real with yourself. Get your happiness, son. You deserve it. That's all I'm trying. I'm just trying to sell some happiness.
Happiness. Just a little bit of happiness. Just dash a little happiness on there.
On that, slow down. Love your life. We out.
Yay!